Terraria players have some interesting takes, so I scoured the internet in search of the most spicy takes I could find, and I'll also be giving my own questionable opinion on them. But before we begin, if you guys have any hot takes you're itching to share, then be sure to comment below. If this video gets enough comments, then who knows, I may feature your comment in a future video. Let's just jump in. The UI is far too simplistic and uninformative for a game of such scale. This one is a great take, and I'd have to 100% agree with this one. To elaborate, I find that there's a lot of elements in the game that are just straight up unexplained, and the features in the game that do try to help you feel sort of underwhelming. The guide, whose sole purpose is to give you a recipe list, feels super inconvenient because it's not like he follows you around to let you see all the recipes you can craft with an item, so you gotta run to him every single time. Not only that, but you need to have this specific material on you that you want to look at the recipes for, and it feels wrong to me that you can't just search a certain material then see all the recipes that way. Furthermore, a lot of item tooltips just feel vague. Of course, their purpose is to simply explain what the item does, but I feel they did a challenge where they had to put like as few words as possible for each one. Rocket boots allows flight. I'm not sure if I'm being too analytical, but for one of the first items that introduces the flying mechanic, you'd think that it'd have a little more to say, right? Of course, after using it, the mechanic becomes obvious, but it'd be nice if it told you how long you could fly for, or just more. I don't know what, but just more. Another item for showcasing this issue would be food. Food items, as advertised, give bonuses to all stats. While this does sound self-explanatory, without some sort of stat chart, it's quite literally impossible to know what stats it's talking about. Not to nitpick, but does it also increase player size, or better yet, does it add an inch? Please, please, please. Fun fact, did you know that food items give you an increase to minion knockback? If you did, well then, I think there's a different overworld we should be exploring then, you know what I mean? The IRL overworld, by the way, if you didn't get my joke. Expert mode is the best way to play Terraria. Normal mode is far too boring. This one, I think, really depends on the type of player you are and how much you've played Terraria. For me personally, I have about 700 hours in Terraria, so I'd like to say that I've experienced a good amount of the game. That being said, this is a take that I partly agree with. I think normal mode is very easy and at times pretty underwhelming, but that doesn't mean it doesn't have its purpose. I think that especially for a game of Terraria's scale with all the content and bosses it has, having a normal mode is a very good thing. Although I definitely think that after the first playthrough or two, all subsequent playthroughs should be played on either expert or master mode due to their respective reasons to play them and how much more they add to the overall Terraria experience.
Shout out to my barber, dog.
Screw defense versus offense. Speed transcends all. This one is so obviously a joke, but I wanted to talk about it anyway because it got me thinking that realistic Cicada 981 is kinda onto something. Because sure, speed isn't everything. Damage and defense still matter, especially for boss fights where endurance plays a huge role in them. But if you're able to be fast and have speed to where you're able to dodge these attacks, for one, that's Giga Chad as fuck, and two, that in and of itself is defense. And think about it, would you rather be the guy who wears beetle armor and just tanks semi-trucks and is lame, or be the Chad who wears summoner armor but without the added benefits of playing summoner, aka the damage? Bruh. Everyone should subscribe and like the video right now. Jokes aside, that's about all the interesting hot takes I found to be passionate enough to talk about. As I said in the intro, please comment your Terraria hot takes, as who knows, I may make another video.